which I was able to do so many things. And the outset, I'm Jayakrishnan. I'm a research scholar in the interdisciplinary program of educational technology at IIT Bombay. So I'm just there's this concept of learning management system. So I'm just, though Moodle has inherently something known as active learning or social constructivism as its book or the philosophy, I'm just differentiating between learning management and as we traditionally see teachers do in Moodle or any other learning management system, to active learning management. So first of all, a few words about my department. The research area that I am in is teacher use of educational technology, and it comes under the broad umbrella of technology-enabled learning of thinking skills, TLOS, as we call it. My specific focus of research is in improving the design of short-term training programs for in-service teachers with technology integration, specifically focused in engineering education. There's a big project called Train 10,000 Teachers, which was set up as part of the national mission of education through ICT. It has been running from 2006. The final stages are now 2015. Apparently, there's going to be an even larger one, Teach 5 lakh teachers, train 5 lakh teachers, which is going to come up pretty soon. And you can see all this in the IIT Bombay, specifically e-outreach. My interest with Moodle, it started in 2010 when I joined IIT Bombay for my master's. It started, if you see the progression, I started from a learner, then to a non-editing teacher. That means I was a teaching assistant. So I was given the access of non-editing teacher. Then I had a teacher role in 2 or 3 courses. Now I am the administrator of my department's own Moodle. So IIT Bombay has a big Moodle where the 5,000 odd students of 5,000 to 5,000 odd students of IIT Bombay log in and have their management, but specifically for developing our own solutions, like to try out different things. The IDB in education technology has a Moodle of its own. It is registered with Moodle. I doubt whether IIT Bombay Moodle is registered. So we have, I know of 4 instances of Moodle running in IIT Bombay. 2 are with the e-outreach team. One of them got recently registered. I just told them that please register if you gain visibility, because we have a project of 10,000 teachers coming under Moodle, and the current load is like 9,800. And they are running courses, and these courses are synchronous remote courses, but which goes along with their own regular practice. So my initial experience as a learner was pretty much the same. I can see my course slides, I can download my resources, I can do my quizzes, and yeah, there is something called lesson through which I can go through my own learning path. This was 2010, 2012, where I was still an MTech. 2013 to 2014, I got a little more control, and here I started experimenting with forums. So if you see on the right, this was a course for research methods in educational technology, RMPT, that's what we call it. We had guided discussion forums based on type of research. So we had around 3,000 teachers who joined for this course called RMET. For each, they had to write a proposal, and we classified them as either a innovative education practice, development of a tool, use of tool in an innovative way, things like that. So for each of these cohorts, we had separate discussion forums. So that was the first attempt of it. I would say low to moderate success, because still we have this aversion of higher ed teachers to the use of forums or use of online mechanisms. But I think we had around 300 to 400 overall discussions happening. One thing led to another. This was experimentation with a full course. So this was effective engineering, effective teaching learning in engineering education. We call it Education Technology for Engineering Teachers, ET for ET. It was a short-term training for pedagogy. It was a blended training, but they received synchronous training. So we had around 200 different colleges connected to the Bombay node, the IIT Bombay node, and there was like 1,500 to 4,300 participants. There were two courses, so the first one had 1,500, the second one had 4,300 participants. Moodle was the learning management system for this course. What we have used are lessons, forums, wikis, feedback, and even we had chats. So we used the Moodle chats for office hours. Now, the focus of this talk is about a recent one which I've used. We had some participants who were interested in doing more. So there were 50 participants. We call it Mentoring Educators in Educational Technology, or MEET, MEET 2015. Again, full course design. I got the power of administrator, Moodle administrator, when I started with this. So I tried even more different things. I used an external tool called Padlet. I integrated it into a label. There were forums, lessons, activity completion settings, and conditional access. It was an online course which started in June. It was run till December. It was a simple task. If you ask me, on a face-to-face training, it would need only 1.5 weeks or maximum 2 weeks. But we gave them three full months so that teachers can do it along with what they practice. Some of the immediate observations on how I used the Moodle tools. Initially, I was more familiar with the assignments, quizzes, and lessons. When I got a teacher access, I used more wikis. Tried to use forums more constructively. There was this feedback model which was more important. And when I became administrator, I started using more other tools and the greater power of Moodle. When you use these standard modules, which Martin pointed out in the lower strata, there is less chance of peer-to-peer feedback, typically in assignments, quizzes, things like that. But when you start using the core activity modules, which really have the social constructivist pedagogy, you see that there are more peer interactions, more useful information, more constructive information being shared within the group. So this is what I call, from learning, just learning management, as a teacher you go towards active learning management. So you have all these tools, you manage them. So some of the modules or plugins that are used: forum for peer-to-peer discussion and community building, lessons, that is where specific feedbacks and other things are required for the learner. Feedback, I need feedback on what is happening in my course. I use the feedback module. And this is the external tool called Padlet. If you see, it's a wall. You are sticking, you stick your notes. So each of these things are notes posted by the learners, easily embedded using label. They are community notes. There is real-time collaboration within Padlet. So why am I again stressing these points? Social constructivism as a referent, as Moodle pedagogy says. And another very typical case, when you train teachers, this is something we have understood. The best training programs, the best design aspects have this concept called immersivity. So immersivity is the definition that I gave. I mean, my team gave it as part of our research work. Immersivity is immersing teachers in pedagogies and technologies that they should use when they get trained. So I was using active learning techniques of think, pair, share for this particular Moodle. And I actually did an adapted version of think, pair, share using Padlet and discussion forums. You can read a lot more about that in this particular work that I presented in a conference last month. What I did, so Participants submit a lesson plan for integrating technology. I used the assignment module for this. Padlet activity that I did was write down one challenge that they might face while implementing the lesson plan. So they have a lesson plan in their mind, they have already put that in the assignment, and in the Padlet, which is a social wall, they just write one challenge they might face while they are going to do this lesson in their class. The next was collaborate in the discussion forums to identify possible solutions to overcome this challenge. So I asked the others to suggest one solution for this problem that the participant has posted. They can take a lot more of these solutions and then refine their lesson plan, again resubmit it, and at the end of it I collected a feedback. So all these had activity completion settings, restricted access, so that it could form in a correct sequence. So this is what happened. So in Padlet, so this is a typical example that I'm posting. So there is this mechanical engineering teacher. She had some difficulty in sharing how the notes, the drawings, it took a lot of time and there were no easy solutions available for them. The entire class had to put it. That was posted in the discussion forum. Around 8 discussions happened with different participants, and finally she edited her own problem and she noted down the solutions. So this happened around 15-16 active teachers were there, and they were sharing this using Moodle's discussion forum. So in the larger scheme of things, assignments and quizzes that happened is what I call learning management, and the discussion forum and the Padlet pause, that I'm calling as active learning management, and I have the feedback module to inform me what is happening within this particular section. So this is a feedback that module that I administered. 12 of them didn't have any expertise of Padlet before they started with this particular module, and at the end of it you have like 13 of them saying that I'm able to design lessons that utilize Padlet, and another 8 of them they are saying that I'm confident of teaching using Padlet. So if you look at it, my broad aim was to integrate education technology. Padlet was one case, and Moodle is the platform which enabled me to do it. So after they did all this activity, then I gave them more information about what is Padlet, how do they use it, what are typical other best practices of Padlet, and this is from our design principle of immersivity. You first experience it as a learner, then you learn about it, then your learning becomes more strong, particularly when you have something like education technology. So we also had a Padlet where they shared their lesson plans, and we focus on this concept called constructive alignment, where your objectives, your instructional strategies, and your assessment all have to be constructively aligned. So you have to use constructive practices within your teaching learning. Again, activity completion settings, that was a great help. People did it in a sequential way, but according to how they were able to do it. So discussions in Padlet use, you can see all these are different posts from how they shared, how somebody used Padlet in my own class, Padlet activity in the physical absence of a teacher. And this, I think, was the highlight of that. So a teacher was going on a maternity leave, and she used Padlet to conduct lab sessions for her students. And I think if you ask me to single out one efficient use of technology, I think this would be one which I would highlight. So again, in the larger scheme of things, I have both learning management and active learning management with feedback. So some of the instructor feedback at the end of the training. So you can see I'm confident of using educational technology. I'm able to convince some of my peers. So somebody is also confident that I'm confident in making Moodle customized for my institute. Teachers should involve the students, the changes there, it's within me. I enjoy the use of advanced techniques, classes were more interactive, we had good group discussions in the class. Takeaways for me as a Moodle admin, choice of modules for design and analysis of active learning, seamless integration of external tools, and it's a perfect platform for teacher use of education technology if you want to train teachers. And takeaways for me as a trainer or facilitator, participants have started adopting some of the technologies, and they are also recognizing why and how of implementing active learning while integrating technology. We have a small community being built up around this. Some of the ways forward, there are some external learning design tools like Web Collage and Catmos, where we can actually implement active learning within an online classroom setting. I would like to love to experiment using this. For community building, we are planning to start a Moodle site for the entire community, promoting academic research and practice in Moodle. There is this 8th International IEEE Conference for Technology for Education for FORE 2016, which is happening in IIT Bombay. It's in the first week of December. That is one place where we see different education technologies being used. And of course, MoodleMoot 2017, I'm eagerly looking forward to it. And to conclude, it's a bit of ironical that I have to use a behaviorist, B.F. Skinner's words for explaining what a constructive thing Moodle is. So Skinner had said, the real problem is not whether machines think, but whether men do. On his great seminal work on the thinking machine, contingencies of reinforcement. So I just rephrase it from my own teacher training experience. The real problem is not whether